everyone, welcome to this update video. I hope you're doing good. Now we're going to be looking at both of these areas. So we have that increase in a lot of moisture across parts of the northeastern Caribbean associated with what was left of a front in the area. So that is going to be helping out to induce a lot of rainfall today, thus enhancing that risk of flooding for some of our northeastern islands. And then we've got that area marked in the Caribbean to watch. Now the formation chance has increased for the system, for the area in terms of scene development since the past 2 days or so. It's been constant, so we now have an increase in that formation chance, and we have more of a consensus with our models in terms of what we could see happen with the system as it relates to where exactly it could go. So we're going to be taking a look at both of these areas today, and let's get things started. Alright, so as we take a look at the satellite imagery here of the North Atlantic, we can see that frontal system and a massive increase in convection within the vicinity of the Eastern Caribbean. In addition, there are a couple of tropical waves moving across the basin, and we also see that increase in moisture in the Western Caribbean, especially the Southwest Caribbean, and that airflow pressure is expected to form into the weekend thereabouts. So looking at the satellite imagery here, the closer view for the Caribbean, there we can see all this activity taking place. So it's likely that there's been some periods of heavy rain in parts of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, maybe even the Leeward Islands as well, along with some thunderstorms and maybe gusty winds. So you can let me know what's been going on for you. And as it relates to the Western Caribbean, it's likely that some parts of Central America have also been experiencing some inclement weather. Nothing too crazy going on this morning for Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, parts of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, ABC Islands, or for parts of the southern Lesser Antilles. So let's go ahead and look at the rainfall forecast for today. And here we got it. Now we can see very colorful in parts of the Northeast Caribbean, especially near Puerto Rico and within the vicinity of the Virgin Islands. So as we're going to be heading throughout today, for the Virgin Islands, there could be maximum rainfall amounts probably up to 3.5 or even 4 inches as that system loiters around. Some heavy rain is also going to be possible in parts of Hispaniola, especially for the Dominican Republic, and for parts of the northern Leeward Islands, such as Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, St. Eustatius. So those areas could experience some heavy downpours as well. Further south may not be as active. Of course, some showers may move by at times, but it may not be as active with a whole lot of rainfall. As we head to the ABC Islands, there could definitely be some downpours today. Northern South America for the Guyanas and much of Venezuela, a whole lot of rain is not expected today. Parts of Colombia will be active though. Similar thing for much of Central America, including the offshore islands, and for parts of Jamaica there could be some heavy rain as well. As we head to the vicinity of the Cayman Islands, some showers could pass by today. Same thing for Cuba, and there could be some shower activity along with some periods of heavy downpours in parts of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands as well. So that is what is expected in terms of rainfall activity. The bulk of rain today in the Caribbean region is likely to be near the or within the vicinity of the Virgin Islands. As we can see, the more colorful shadings are there. And even in parts of Puerto Rico, there could definitely be some heavy rainfall today as well. And with all that rain expected, there could be flooding induced, especially in the more low-lying areas. So please take the necessary precautions and stay safe if you should encounter any flood waters. Now with that system, nothing is marked in terms of scene development, but some models are hinting at that at an airflow pressure forming in association with it. But the disturbance that is marked, so we have that in the Western Caribbean, the West and Central Caribbean. So we can see 50% formation chance. As I mentioned, it was stagnant at 40% for a couple days. Now it is up to 50, and it is now the shaded area here also to show the potential track is kind of reflecting what the models are agreeing on as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the models. Here we kickstart things with Euro, and the green shadings that you're seeing indicate the moisture where the rainfall activity is expected to be, and the black squiggly lines are called isobars. They join areas of equal atmospheric pressure, and the closer we see them within a circular manner, and the value that we're seeing gradually decreasing, that is a sign of intensification. There we also have the forecast time, so let's see what Euro is showing. So as we're going to be heading into this weekend, there we can see all that increase in moisture near the Northeast Caribbean, And for the Caribbean Sea, we don't see much happen, but we see that airflow pressure starting to form by early next week. That moisture now starting to lift up to the north and moving within the vicinity of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. Eventually, we see that system entering the Gulf, but we don't see anything too defined or strong. But even if there is an increase in rainfall, that is going to be enough to result in some problems as it pertains to potential flooding. Going on to the Canadian model now, as we head into this weekend, again, that increase in moisture near the Northeast Caribbean, we see that area of low pressure form, and the Canadian model has it making a very close approach to Jamaica as we're going to be heading into early next week, Monday going to Tuesday, and then we see the system strengthen. Notice those circular isobars, more and more of them start appearing, so that is a sign of strengthening as the system enters the Gulf of Mexico. Next, the ICON model. ICON is showing that airflow pressure forming as we head into the weekend, that system near the northeastern Caribbean as well. Now, ICON has the system moving up to the north for a while before starting to move to the northwest and strengthening while it does so, even as it approaches the Gulf of Mexico. So we see a pressure of 962 millibars. That's definitely a hurricane ICON is expecting to be entering the Gulf. Then as for the GFS model, GFS is also showing that increase in moisture, but has both of these low pressure areas interacting with each other. Eventually, one airflow pressure dominates and makes its way towards the vicinity of the Gulf. So very much different from compared to what the other models are showing. And it seems more likely that the system will have a northward tug before it starts moving off to the northwest. So that is kind of the consensus right now, and it looks as though it's pretty much plausible as well. And even though we have this consensus, nothing is still 100% guaranteed at this point, because again, we still don't have that airflow pressure forming. But in the case where we do have that track of the system as what is being forecast by the majority of our models, then areas such as Jamaica, even for the Cayman Islands as well, maybe even parts of Central America, will need to eventually keep watch for impacts as we're going to be heading into next week. So nothing immediate for the short term, but that is a potential as well with these new trends. And again, as it pertains to that secondary area that is inducing a lot of rain in parts of the Northeast Caribbean, please do not take any unnecessary risks if you should encounter floodwaters, and stay safe as best as you can. And in terms of sea development as well in the Caribbean, that will all be dependent on how conducive the environment is. So we already have those very warm waters, a plethora of heat and energy to support the system, but we also need those upper level winds to be conducive and a lot of moisture in the mid and low levels of the atmosphere to boost development. So I'll keep you guys posted as usual. So that's it for right now, and I do hope that you found this update to be informative. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll get to you when I can, and remember to always be weatherwise.